Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, that's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can also hear us live on our audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. Join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
We are now entering into the fourth year of the Marcos Jr. administration, and he have 2 more years left. And in the past 12 months, the administration has faced several tough challenges that tested its integrity. In economy, the country remained resilient despite external forces that impacted the local economic growth. And also in defense, China's activities in the West Philippine Sea remains constant in its expansionist actions and have shifted our focus on defending our maritime territories with assistance of our allies. In politics, President Marcos Jr. remained resilient and strong despite the breakup of their political team and parting ways with Vice President Sara Duterte. And later this afternoon, the Chief Executive will deliver his annual address to the Filipinos here and around the world. What do we expect President Marcos Jr. will say on the State of the Nation, and what are the things the President will say or discuss in his address to more than 110 million Filipinos? What can we expect in the next 12 months? Joining me now in the program live via Zoom is a renowned political analyst and also a former political advisor for the late President Benigno Noynoy Aquino III, none other than Mr. Ronald Llamas. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good morning, Jerome, and to all your listeners.
Okay.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So looking back at 12 months ago, Sir Ronald, the very same moment President Marcos bared his plans and vision for the country for the past 12 months. Now, let's focus first on the economy. Marcos Jr. administration keeps on track of the country's inflation rate. By the end of 2024, the country hit its inflation target at 3.2%. Now, this year, as of June inflation report that was released this month, we are now at 1.4%. And at the same time, this administration has focused on food security, which is one of the key and a personal agenda of the president since his campaign. And also, his 20 peso rice program is now rolling across the country. And also in infrastructure, construction of railways, and also the Luzon economic corridor is in the works. And also his official trips abroad have significantly attracted foreign businesses to invest in the Philippines. However, the Trump tariffs are threatening the Philippine economy. As we know, President Marcos Jr. went to Washington last week to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump to negotiate the 20% he imposed to the Philippines. But the Philippines managed to cut it down by 1%. So with this, how he should deliver more in terms of economy, Mr. Ronald?
Well, first of all, the important thing in the economy is our comparative advantage. Because investments are not flooding in. They're flooding into our neighbors, like Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, but not as much in our own country. So I think the main problem is our comparative advantage. For example, we still have the third highest cost of electricity after Japan and Singapore. But Japan and Singapore are practically first world countries. So we have to do something about the cost of energy in our country, or investors will hesitate. Uh, Most, if not all, of our neighbors, their energy uh, is subsidized.
Mm.
Ours, I think, is the only one which isn't subsidized. So we have to do something about that. Second, the ease of doing business. We always have bills and laws about the ease of doing business, but the ease still needs a lot to be desired. So when you do business in the Philippines, you have to go through a lot of signatures, a lot of processes, which discourage investors from coming in. Third is infrastructure. Uh, for example, the target of our government in tourism was to go back to the pre-pandemic level of 8 million tourists, but now we only have about 5 million. A large part of this is because of the lack of infrastructure. No?
Right.
Fourth is uh, food inflation. As you said, general inflation is going down, but food inflation is still relatively high. And that's why in the surveys of the Social Weather Station, SWS, self-rated poverty is still very high. Still very high. Involuntary hunger is still very high. So this has to be improved. Our food inflation is not based on demand. It's based on supply. It's a supply side problem, which means that our agricultural sector has to scale up in terms of producing enough food for food security, and in terms of bringing down the cost of food. Even if we're exporting a lot, the cost of food still remain very high for ordinary people, especially since Jerome, the Congress and the Senate has rejected the 100 peso wage request of labor uh, 2 months ago. Uh,
Right.
this was the first minimum wage increase since 1989, and
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
100 pesos, and they rejected it. So this definitely has an impact, not only economically, but politically to our people. They will feel that uh, the government, as the president said in his last SONA, flaunts our high growth rates, and yet even the president admits it's not being felt by people on the ground. If you remember his speech last SONA, he said that emphatically. Yes, we have one of the highest growth rates in the region, but it's not being felt by the people. And fifth, also very important, was his attack against cartels, against hoarders, against smugglers, who dominate a large part of our economy. He said that he will destroy them in the two previous zonas. But up to now, I never noticed, I never observed a smuggler, a hoarder, a cartel being charged or put in prison. So this promises of the president will haunt him in this State of the Nation address. There's a lot more, but I leave it at that, Jerome.
Okay. So you mentioned about the energy costs, and at the same time food inflation and attack against cartels. But the Marcos Jr. administration has implemented or conducted series of programs that to address these issues. For example, the energy cost. He just launched the solar power facility that's in Nueva Ecija, and also on food inflation. The President Marcos is coordinating well with the NFA and the agriculture to address the rice. The problem with the rice supply and also the attack against the cartel. I think the DA has intercepted the shipment of some agricultural products that is that is being smuggled into our port. So in fairness, Mr. Ronald, there's a initiative, or there are initiatives that Marcos Jr. is doing.
Well, these are good initiatives, Jerome. But for now, they are a drop in the bucket. Like you arrested, not arrested. You were able to get smuggled goods, but who were the perpetrators? Why weren't they arrested? They will just continue to do that. They will just put that as part of their cost. Second, Nueva Ecija is good, the solar power, but it has no impact on the cost of electricity nationwide. No, food initiatives by Kadiwa is good. No, like the 20 peso cost of rice implemented in Cebu.
Right.
The problem is it's not yet sustainable because you have to subsidize 20 pesos cost of rice by 14 to 15 pesos per kilo. And where will you get that money to subsidize that lowering of cost? So, Jerome, you need a macroeconomic plan so that these initiatives, which are good, can be sustainable and will be comprehensively implemented. Like Jerome, what will be the backdrop of the SONA today was the massive flooding last week.
Right.
And you have thousands of flood control projects. So how can you cope with that contradiction? Thousands of flood control projects and yet continuing flooding. Like for example, rainwater in Japan, 70% are harnessed in big cisterns to prevent flooding and to save potable water from rain. In the Philippines, we have less than 1%, which we can contain or in a water impounding. So this technology is already being done in our neighbors. Why aren't we doing it? And with that 1.2 trillion cost of thousands of flood control projects, what's happening? People will remember that. That will be the backdrop for this SONA.
All right.
You need only a very few flood control projects. For example, in Metro Manila, just one. You don't need thousands. You need one drainage program, one water impounding program, one waste disposal program, one flood control project. You don't need thousands. They have to be integrated. They have to be holistic. You cannot have one flood control in one barangay and another in another barangay. One flood control in one city and another in its neighboring city. That's forgive my word, Jerome, that's very stupid. No?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it only breeds corruption,
Okay.
which is very important in comparative advantage. If we lessen corruption, no, then perhaps we can again surpass Vietnam, who has surpassed our country 2 years ago, or we can surpass Indonesia, who is now a high middle income country.
All right.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
All right.
our neighbors are surpassing us. So we have to do much more in terms of our comparative advantage, especially on the issue of corruption.
Got it.
Where
Okay.
very few are still being charged or put in prison.
All right. Point taken, Mr. Ronald. But anyway, well, before we leave it, that I will leave a one point because President Marcos Jr. said in a speech that he urged the need, or he calls for to collect those rainwaters or floods, and also put it in one place so that they can use that for later use, or they can discharge it to the nearest water.
There was a proposal more than a year ago for a new water department. What has happened there?
And
It was the proposal of the president,
yeah.
but it has not been implemented. I think that is very important right now.
Yeah, and that needs to be to be checked or taken care of. Anyway, so let's proceed to the defense aspect, Mr. Ronald. Okay, so the constant and our number one ally, the United States, has ramped up its efforts to support countries that has issues with China, like the Philippines. Yet China doubles down its efforts too in the South China Sea. In the past 12 months, they keep on encroaching on the islands and sandbars that lies on our exclusive economic zones, especially or essentially undermining our sovereignty. So I would like to ask this. So did the Marcos Jr. administration did everything it can to defend our sovereignty?
I think this is one of the strong points of the Marcos administration. Our claims in the West Philippine Sea, even if the second superpower in the world is aggressively invading our territory. The first time this has happened since World War II. No, our government, even if it's not a superpower, have resisted this encroachment in our territory.
Right.
One thing the government should do is to diversify security support, because we have the support of the world, not only in the issue of the West Philippine Sea, but on the freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. I think the president should improve our resistance to this encroachment into our territory by diversifying our friends in the security sector around us, like India, Australia, New Zealand, Korea, even Europe. For the first time, France sent their aircraft carrier here earlier this year. So even the United Kingdom are planning to do as well. So these are good moves, which we have to do to not only sustain the support of the world, but to show that we are not a puppet of one superpower against another superpower. That we are representing and defending not only our rights in the West Philippine Sea, but the rights of the world in terms of freedom of navigation in the South China Sea.
Got it. Okay, and also the Philippines should spend more on defense.
Yes, and no, Jerome, because we cannot we have no illusions of competing militarily with China. But we have to show a minimum capacity to defend our frontliners, our fishermen, no? Our Coast Guard, guarding our West Philippine Sea. I think we cannot approach the aircraft capacity of China, the naval capacity of China, the biggest navy in the world. What we can do is to show our people and the world that even if we are small, we are willing to defend our territory. I think we should focus more on drones because they are inexpensive and very efficient. No, we should create a drone industry in the Philippines, no? Not only to monitor our West Philippine Sea, but to show the world, to show China that we can be very creative. Because drones, Jerome, are relatively inexpensive compared to submarines, compared to aircraft carriers, compared to fighter jets. No, we don't have enough money to buy those things. But drones are very sustainable if we create an industry around them.
That. Okay, got it. And also, just a point, Mr. Ronald, drones are a game changer in if we witness the Russia-Ukraine war. They are using it effectively against each other to defend their own sovereignty and their own land. Okay, got it. Okay, let's focus now on politics. As we know, Mr. Ronald, the country witnessed the bitter breakup of the most prominent political power in the country, the Marcos Duterte alliance. And when started what started as a dispute in the Congress, it grew bigger and affected the both Marcos and Duterte camp, which led to the eventual downfall of what they called the Unity Team. And also the known result of this rift is the resignation of Vice President Sara Duterte from the cabinet and the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte and his eventual transfer to the International Criminal Court. Also, the Marcos Jr. administration was not spared from that effect of the downfall because more than half of the senatorial tickets of the Alianza supported by President Marcos Jr. did not make it on either opinion polls or nor the Magic 12 in the last May 12 election. So, and some of them disassociated themselves to the administration ticket. Do you see all this coming, sir? What is the next for the administration in political aspect?
This breakdown of the Uni Team, which was able to get the highest vote in the history of the country, broke up because of primarily continuity. Who will take over after President Bongbong Marcos? Amazingly, it started very early. It started immediately after winning the 2022 elections. And it helped broke the Uni Team, the historic Uni Team, almost overnight. This dynamic between the Marcoses and the Dutertes, Jerome, is no less than an existential battle, a survival fight. As you can see with what the Dutertes are saying, from the patriarch Digong to Baste to Vice President Sara, the threats they have thrown at President Bongbong are not just political, they're very physical. As the Vice President said in his assassination statement against the President and his wife and his cousin, Speaker Martin Romualdez. So this is not just about political survival. This is about physical survival. As Sarah has said, we will not forget, and there will be hell to pay. We will drag you to hell, etc., etc. So this is a survival existential battle, Jerome. The problem is that sometimes the president is hesitant in this survival battle, like in the impeachment. More than 250 congressmen signed the impeachment against Sara, including the number one signature, his son. But publicly, the president said that he is against impeachment. This sends a mixed message to his forces. To his forces. Like for now, in the Senate, majority of the senators are supporters of the president. And yet, since the president makes no clear position on this, most of the senators are against impeachment. Even the Supreme Court recently decided to dismiss impeachment. If the president has a clear position on impeachment, even the Duterte Supreme Court, dominated by 12 justices appointed with Digong, will hesitate to issue this dismissal. So the president has to scale up in this survival existential battle. He has to realize that there's no turning back. The Dutertes will have his head figuratively and literally, as Sara sharply stated in her statements. So I'm not sure if the president has realized that this is a survival battle, and he has to have clear instructions to his troops, to his supporters, or else after the decision last Friday of the Supreme Court, Sara will have momentum going into 2028. I doubt if next year they will able to refile impeachment because the political landscape would have changed by next year. The president may become an early lame duck if he doesn't scale up political leadership in this, again, Jerome, existential battle.
Okay. So I'm afraid that we're running out of time. So I will ask two more questions, Mr. Ronald. Okay. So You mentioned about the defense as one of the strong points of the Marcos Jr. administration. So what are the things that Marcos Jr. did good for the past 12 months in your own view, Mr. Ronald?
Well, he redefined the Marcos legacy by being strong on human rights, by pursuing the crimes against humanity against the Dutertes directly or indirectly. The arrest of President Digong was very defining in his government. It not only puts his mortal enemies on the defensive in this existential battle, but it shows the world that he will defend the rule of law. It shows the world, he shows the world that he is for civil liberties and human rights and against extrajudicial killings and crimes against humanity. I think this is one important thing, Jerome, that he should do in his State of the Nation today. Say in his speech that we will be rejoining the ICC.
Okay.
That is a logical political direction of what he has done this past 2 years in terms of pursuing the crimes against humanity of the Dutertes.
Okay.
Say in his speech that he will rejoin the ICC and it will dominate his SONA. Will be a high point in his SONA today.
Okay. So one last, Mr. Ronald. So what are the things that you will see PBBM will likely to tackle or to say in his address to the nation besides ICC?
Well, e-gambling will be a critical point because it's also logical since he banned Pogos in his last State of the Nation address,
Right.
in his last SONA. No, I'm not sure if he will do that because the government is earning a lot from e-gambling, but it is costing a lot in terms of social costs. That's why even the church, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, issued a very strong statement against e-gambling. Even students are victims of e-gambling.
Right.
A lot of crimes are happening because of e-gambling. So like Pogo, he should do a total ban of e-gambling. And third, what is more important, is the proposal to open the budget process, Jerome. No? To make it participative. Because this is one of the main issues. The GAA, the budget controversy last December and January, which made the approval rating of the president plummet. So now it's increasing in terms of being present in the streets, riding the MRT, checking the toilets of the airports, bringing his sons together. It is helping him increase his approval ratings.
Got it.
One which will really dramatize his support for and against corruption is the bill proposing to open the budget into scrutiny and participation. That will be a defining issue in this State of the Nation address.
Okay. Very well said. And let's hope Marcos Jr. administration will say something that will benefit the Filipino people then, Mr. Ronald. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Ronald Llamas. We don't have much time. We have so much to discuss, but we're running out of time. But anyway, thank you for joining us in the program.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerome. Anytime.
All right. Okay, you just heard Mr. Ronald Llamas, the political analyst. Front and Center will be right back after these short messages.
Paliwanag mo sa tao na hindi totoo yan.
Dahil ang totoo, yung totoo ang dapat ninyong malaman.
Nagkalat sa internet ang fake news
Ang
o
ginagawa
mali
ng
at
fake news, tinatapon niya yung tao.
what they're doing is creating panic.
We say no.
Yung pagkalat ng fake news. And some of it's dangerous.
Sana iwasan po natin pag-spread ng fake news.
At di magpapakalat ng disinformation at misinformation ang kasulukuyang administrasyon.
Stop telling us fake news because you're wrong.
Para sa totoo at mapagkakatiwalaang mga balita at impormasyon, Radyo Pilipinas.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service with me, Jerome Toledo. And this last weekend, 80% or the Octa survey has released a survey that says that 80% of Filipinos want Vice President Sara Duterte to face impeachment trial. That's according to their Tugon ng Masas survey. And that survey conducted from July 12 to 17, which had 1,200 adult respondents. And to give us more details about this, we now have on the line the fellow of the Octa Research, Professor Guido David. Good morning, Professor Guido. Thank you so much for joining us in the program.
Yes, good morning. I'm glad to be here of service to the public.
Okay, got. Thank you so much. Okay, so can you explain in a nutshell of the survey that was released over the weekend, Prof. Guido?
Yes, actually, you had important details, pero just to add to that, yes, it was conducted July 12 to 17. And it's 1,200 respondents nationwide. So, firstly, we asked kung ano yung awareness nila about the impeachment. And most of the public is aware of it. 97% are aware of it. Only 2% are not aware, and 1% did not want to answer.
Okay.
And sa Mindanao especially, and sa NCR, 99% yung awareness. And sa ABC, it's at 100% awareness. And then the second question was, specifically yung tanong, do you think Vice President Sara Duterte should face trial in the Senate or an impeachment court to address the allegations against her or not? And then there's a 1,200 respondents, 80% said yes nationwide, and 14% said no, and then may 7% who did not provide an answer. Just among that, sa NCR, it's at 87%, pero sa Visayas, it's actually the highest at 92%.
Okay.
Balanced Luzon, 77%, and sa Mindanao, 69% sa Mindanao nagsabing yes.
Okay. Okay. So those numbers po pala, Prof. Guido, ay matataas ang mga numero ng mga tumugon dito. Anyway, so let us make this clear, Prof. Guido. The survey period was conducted by the time na wala pa pong nare-reach ang SC. Particular dun sa impeachment trial.
Right. So this was before the decision of the Supreme Court, since this was conducted very recently lang, July 12 to 17. Pero yun nga, yung decision ng Supreme Court was just last week, I believe. So this is very very new, relatively. Pero mas recent yung sa Supreme Court. So of course now it's probably moot. Pero this was the position of the public. And hindi naman nila sinasabi, we're not talking about whether she's guilty or not of the charges. Ang sinasabi lang is the due process. This is what the survey is saying.
Okay. So having said that, so would that affect in your forecast, Professor Guido? So would that number change?
If we're going to ask it again, it might change, considering there's a decision by the Supreme Court. I think part of the public will be influenced by the decision of the Supreme Court. But this is this survey was independent of the decision of the Supreme Court. So ito yung yung feeling or yung opinion ng ating public. So I think it's valid. Now, of course, the Supreme Court is basing it on a technicality, from my understanding of it. I'm not a lawyer. So, and it looks like, nothing could be done about this now. So, but, in fact, some might question why we're releasing this, because it's moot, but this is for academic purposes. Para lang, at least, malaman natin where the public stands on this issue.
But nevertheless, the public still supports the impeachment case or the impending impeachment trial against the vice president, given that these numbers that was released by the Octa research.
Yes, that's the bottom line. So the public does support the impeachment. So what the Supreme Court decision, we could say it's mostly in it's not with the public opinion. So it's actually against popular opinion at this time. I mean, that could change. We will see if it changes within the next, after the Supreme Court decision. But of course, it's moot now. But the Supreme Court decision is not aligned with the public interest. At least that's what we could discern from this data.
Okay, very well said, Professor Guido. And with that, thank you so much, Professor Guido David, the fellow of the Octa Research, for joining us in the program. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you and have a good day. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, and with that, the interview with Professor Guido David will now end the edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our production team and technical personnel, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay. Love the Philippines.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.